Hey all, welcome back to another video. And today what we're going to discuss is the three main reasons why people actually fail at social media marketing and running an agency. So a lot of people come to me and a lot of people start this business off, but here are the three main areas where people just fall down at. I personally fitted perfectly into this mold, so I know exactly what it's like if you're struggling with any of the things that I mentioned in this video, so I have been there as well. And as usual, before we kick it off, make sure you are already subscribed and that you've hit the like button, and let's get into it. So number one, the biggest reason that you are probably going to fail if you were just starting off is that you will encounter shiny object syndrome. You've probably heard of this before. So here's what someone with shiny object syndrome looks like. So week one of starting their agency, they start DMing some businesses on Instagram. Week two, they don't really see any results, and what do? They completely jump ship and they start doing cold email. Week three, you know what? They still haven't really gotten any results. So what do? They hop on LinkedIn. They hear that LinkedIn is the hottest new thing for getting businesses. Week four, you guessed it. Still no consistent results. They've gotten a call here or there. They got a few replies here and there, but they're not really seeing any momentum. What do? They hop on cold calling. They try something completely different, something they're not even comfortable with, but they heard in a YouTube video that it's the next big thing and it's the thing that is the most predictable way to get clients. Now, if that sounds like you, listen up. If you look at all of those outreach methods I just listed off to you, DMing businesses on Instagram, doing cold email, doing LinkedIn, and doing cold calls, all of those can work. All of those can work, but it's up to you to make them work, right? You can have success with cold calling. You can have success with cold emails. You can have success with Instagram DMs or LinkedIn, but you have to be consistent with them. I get the vast majority of my clients through Instagram DMs, and when I started Instagram DMs, I got nothing. I had no responses. I did it for weeks and weeks, and I actually did it for months and months before signing my first client, but I just kept going. I knew it could work. I knew it was working for other people, and I said, you know what? I'm going to become really good at this, because if I become really good at this, I'm not going to have to worry about LinkedIn. I don't have to worry about cold calling, because I can just get good at this and get clients that way. So if you keep jumping around, and you start with one outreach method and then you try something else because you're not seeing results, just stop, okay? Pick one, become really good at that one thing, and just put the vast majority of your focus on that. Now, of course, there's no problem if you want to do some LinkedIn, you want to do some Instagram DM, but be very clear on that you're going to give yourself a couple months of just doing those two things and improving every single day, trying to improve the messages you send, improve the type of businesses that you're finding, and just look at it that way. And I guarantee you, if you do that, if you can do that systematically, day in, day out, every week, you will get results. So please say goodbye to the shiny object syndrome. It will not get you anywhere. And it's not only for your outreach methods, right? People also face shiny object syndrome with business models, right? They hear about dropshipping, they hear about Amazon FBA, they hear about Forex trading, and then they hear about SMMA. Just pick one of them, go all in, and become really good at it. The second reason why you may actually fail with SMMA is that you've got a lack of discipline and consistency. Okay, so this links very nicely to our first point, and that is the fact that if you are not disciplined and consistent with showing up every day and every week with whatever outreach method you choose, you're going to have a hard time seeing your first client. So if you send 10 emails one day, then you do 0 the next day, and then you do 20 the next day, although you're still sending a lot of emails, that inconsistency is going to catch up with you and it's going to throw you off course. You see, success, you've probably heard this before, but success is kind of like an avalanche, right? It slowly builds up and it's like a snowball where the snowball starts very, very small, right? As it rolls down the hill, it's slowly getting more snow, right? So it's slowly becoming bigger and you don't really even notice it at the start, but after a few weeks and after a few months, it gets very, very big. And the same can be said for when you are doing outreach, okay? So when you are sending emails, you're sending DMs, those efforts compound, right? So when you send 10 DMs every single day for an entire month, you've just done 300 pieces of outreach. And those 300 pieces of outreach will actually continue to serve you for the next 2 or 3 months, right? So you could message someone 2 months ago and they might reply to you now. It constantly happens for us. We signed 2 clients this week and they were people that we've talked to roughly 1 to 2 weeks ago. So if you can be really consistent and just show up every day and do very, very small tasks that you know are going to build up, you're going to have a better chance of succeeding. Now, to stay consistent, you have to have discipline. right? It's very hard to be consistent if you don't have that internal discipline. So you've got to just be really clear with yourself, right? If you have your goal of signing 1 or 2 clients, you've got to be really, really clear on what you've got to do. You've got to show up every day, every week, and every month, and you keep going until you start seeing results. And you need that internal discipline, right? That's not something I can teach you or someone else out there can teach you. That's something that you've got to just really build up for yourself. And again, this links very nicely to the last point and point number 3, and the third reason why you might actually fail with your marketing agency. Lack of self-belief and a lot of limiting beliefs. That's what holds so many people back. Because if you have a lack of self-belief and you have lots of these limiting beliefs, it's going to be very, very hard for you to be disciplined and to actually be consistent. And it's going to be a lot easier then to slip into the trap of the shiny object syndrome, right? So it all links very, very clearly here. If you don't have self-belief and you've got limiting beliefs, that's going to link then to the discipline and consistency in your life, which then is going to link onto shiny object syndrome and you getting demotivated and moving on to something completely new. The most common limiting beliefs I hear from people literally on a daily basis on my Instagram is, I'm not skilled enough at a service. I'm not confident in offering a service to a business. I don't think I'll be able to do a good job. And why would a client pay me? I kid you not, I get these every single day, and you might be listening to this now and you might have actually sent me a message like that, and that's completely fine, guys. I felt the exact same way when I was starting. It's not as if I started and I thought I was the best at social media marketing. I started and I had those same thoughts. I thought to myself, why is someone going to trust me? Why would they not go to a big agency when I'm just starting off and I'm a one-man team? You know, I had all of these doubts as well. But the harsh reality is that there's people right now who know just as much as you, but they're signing clients every week. And it ultimately comes down to the fact that they're just a bit more confident. They just believe that they can do a better service. They might have less skills than you. They might actually know less about Facebook ads than you do, but you have to have that internal self-belief, and then you got to get rid of those limiting beliefs. So there's 2 books that I would recommend you read if you are struggling with self-belief, right? Number 1 is Learned Optimism, right? It does what it says on the tin. It teaches you a little bit about how you can actually think a bit more optimistically, but it also shows you why it's incredibly important, not just for business, but for the actual happiness that you experience in your life. Second book is going to be Psycho Cybernetics. You've probably heard of some other people in the agency space talk about this, and it's an incredibly good book. It really challenges you to look at how you think of yourself, how you think of your life, and the success that you want for yourself. Really pushed me to understand that the thoughts that I have on a daily basis about myself and about my success and the work I'm doing, those are things that will happen if I keep thinking them. So if I keep thinking to myself, I'm not going to sign clients, I probably won't sign clients, right? And I don't think it has anything to do with law of attraction and that kind of thing and manifestation, but what it signals to me is that if you're telling yourself, I'm not going to sign clients, that's going to permeate then to the actual actions that you take. Right? So if you're thinking that, you're going to do less outreach. You're maybe going to be less confident on any calls that you do. You're ultimately going to fulfill that prophecy and you're probably not going to sign any clients. So have a look at your life right now and see if those 3 things are things that you are going to be falling into. Number 1, get rid of shiny object syndrome. Number 2, get rid of your lack of consistency and discipline and foster discipline and consistency into your life. And number 3, get rid of the limiting beliefs and focus on having a bit more self-belief in yourself, a bit more self-confidence, and do whatever you have to do to make that happen for yourself. And if you are struggling with your agency right now and you want to get on the fast track to building a potential 6-figure business, you can check out the 6-Figure Accelerator program linked in the description below. You can also hop on a call with me about the program. You can chat to me, ask me questions if you have any concerns. So check out the link below and you can find out more information. And that's all for this video, guys. As always, make sure you're subscribed and that you've hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.